Hi everyone, so this is the question number 2 for the playlist number properties, right? So the question is, for every positive integer n, the highest number that n into n square minus 1 into 5n plus 2 is always divisible by, okay? So there you need to calculate. In the previous question, means in the question number 1, we have already calculated the highest number that is always divides the n into n square minus 1, okay, and here mentioned that n is odd, but here only mentioned that every positive integer n, okay. So there will be two possibilities, n can be even or n can be, so two possibilities are there. So n can be even and n can be odd, right? So if n is odd, means for this case n into n square minus 1 always divisible by 24, as this question was our first question, means this question, okay. So you have not, if you have not seen, okay, then just go through the question number 1 for the playlist number properties, okay. Then you will know that n into n square minus 1 will be divisible by 24 if n is odd, okay. Now the second possibility is if n is even, right? Okay, so if n is even, then n minus 1 and n plus 1 both are odd, okay, right? So, and we also know that the product of three consecutive positive integers is always a multiple of 3, right? But as here n is even, so the product of n into n square minus 1, okay, here n is even, right? So normally the multiple of three consecutive numbers always divisible by 3, but if n is even, okay, then it should be the product of 6, right? So if n is even here, so then this is divisible by 6, okay, clear, very clear, just do comments, okay. So now 5n plus 2 is also mentioned. So if n is even, then 5n also even and 5n plus 2 also even, right? This is clear, right? Okay, so among these two, means these two are again consecutive even numbers. So here if 5n is divisible by 2, then 5n plus 2 is divisible by 4, okay. It is possible when n is 2. So when n is 2, then 5n is divisible by 2 and 5n plus 2 is divisible by 4. And if n equals to 4, then 5n is divisible by 4 and 5n plus 2 is divisible by 2, clear? So from this also n into 5n plus 2, okay, this means the product of n and 5n plus 2, this will be the multiple of 8, right? So if you will consider the n into n square minus 1 for both case even and odd, those two means those will be the divisible by 3, as which is divisible by 6, this must be divisible by 3, right? Okay, so n into 5n plus 2 is also the multiple of 8. So if you will consider the whole, means n into n square minus 1 into 5n plus 2, then it should be divisible by 24, right? as n into n square minus 1, if odd, then it will be divisible by 24. If n into n square minus 1 is, means if n is even, then n into n square minus 1 should be multiple of 6, and this should be multiple of 8. So if you will do the LCM of 6 and 8 also, okay, so 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8. So here also LCM is, means for 6 and 8, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8. So LCM of 6, 8 is also 24. Okay, so if you will consider this one, it should be divisible by 24 only.